to Tamerton Foliot, the scenic Lopwell Dam, and a chat with Margaret Wilmot of Beer Ferrers. This is a fascinating shop because it's not just a shop, it's a hairdresser's as well, isn't it?
Yes, it's a little bit of everything. It's a general stores with gifts and hairdressing, and I do B&B as well, and the village pop in for all the various notices that go on, and the bookings of the church hall, and it's the information.
It's the hub of Beer Ferrers then.
The information point.
How do you manage to combine like cutting people's hair when you've got coming in the shop?
It works fairly well, and customers take their turn. I got another lady that can come in and give a hand if it's extra busy.
It's a lovely spot, Beer Ferrers, isn't it?
Yes, it's because it's on the road to nowhere, and it's because it's where it is. There's no through traffic. It's almost an internal island, the Beer Peninsula, and that's what keeps it sort of peace and quiet. It's a little bit of England that hasn't been unspoilt yet, you know.
And indeed, a little bit of England that's hardly changed is a few miles up the Tamar at Morwellham Quay, where an acoustic cafe was in progress.
As you go along, you'll go through Ipham Meadow, which in the springtime the walls are studded with primroses. As you go further along on the right-hand side, there's a little cottage, storybook sort of illustration, and there's a story told that when the lockkeeper used to live there, and he knew there was going to be a flood tide, he used to tie his little boat to his bedpost, and as the tide rose, he used to sort of climb out of his bedroom window into his boat and row to safety.
Walker Susan Tucker, who I bumped into on a lovely morning while heading for Lifton. And from Lifton, some company for a while, long-distance charity rider Mike Bickle and his horse Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy did near enough, well, he did 4 weeks out of the 5 from John O'Groats to Land's End, and he enjoys it actually. Now he's not fazed by anything, traffic, bridges, policemen, whatever. He's quite happy with them now. You know, he understands the job.
And how much did you raise on John O'Groats to Land's End?
John O'Groats to Land's End, we raised £14,731 and 13p, I believe, which was split between the 3 charities, Meningitis Trust, Cancer Research and Riding for the Disabled. And of course we presented the Riding for the Disabled part of it to Princess Anne when she came to the races at Denman Exeter.
Well, thanks very much it's been really nice having some company, albeit 4-footed company. He can go a bit faster than me, Murphy, can't he?
Yeah, I was noticing actually, Joe, that down there on the hill, all I had to do was just turn my heels in a bit and Murphy would trot on. But you didn't have, you had to just put shoulder to the wheel and try and keep up. Yeah. So yeah, it's a heck of a lot easier, and I really do admire what you're doing. For me, I wouldn't even walk up this little hill of 200 or 300 yards, but for you to walk 460 miles, it's just something that I could never dream of doing.
Leaving Michael and Murphy behind, it was on to a nearby watering hole.
I'm Jill DeMott. It's the Arscott Arms at Chapman's Well.
So, Jill, what brought you down here from Surrey?
Over the last 20 years, we've always holidayed down here and loved the area. Because of circumstances that happened, we needed a change of lifestyle and had to think of something to do. So decided to buy a pub, and this one was on the market and we knew it, and that's why we're here 2 years later.
So what's it like moving down from Surrey to run a pub in Devon?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. We'd had enough of the southeast. It's all hustle and bustle, and it really didn't suit us. I was fed up. I worked in the health service, was a nurse, and fed up with all the bureaucracy. And it's just such a wonderful way of life. People are so nice down here. We've met so many good people, and so friendly, welcomed us, and yeah, lovely. And the view.
The view is fantastic. We can see right over the moors, can't we?
Yes, yeah.
Especially today. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better day.
It's beautiful, and the summer we've had has absolutely been lovely.
So no plans to go back to Surrey then?
Oh no, no. Definitely not. I don't think I could cope with going back there.
And this is your husband?
This is Bob. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Hello. We're just having a little chat about you moving down here. How do you find it down here?
Well, just look at the view. I mean, where I used to look out my office before, all I could see was a busy road and thousands of houses. Now I look out my office window now, and I've got the beautiful Dartmoor, and it's just a wonderful place to live.
And those wonderful open views continued. I wended my way along the Tamar to finish the third day at another watering hole, this one with a unique quality.
We're the only pub west of the Tamar, but still in Devon.
What's it like? Do you feel part of Devon here then, or part of Cornwall?
I always say Devon, really, because I was always brought up in Devon, so I tend to say we're still in Devon. So I think we're still in Devon because we're so far up, aren't we? It's till you get right down in Cornwall where it's different, yeah.
So what's Bridge Rule like as a village then?
It's very friendly. A lot of families that have been here for years, isn't there?
Yeah. So has the village changed much in the 17 years that you've been here?
Yeah, it has in the last 2 years. It's nearly doubled its size in houses. Yeah, they've got 2 new housing estates. It hasn't made that much difference to the amount of people walking around, but it's made a lot more traffic.
Because this is quite a very quiet part of Devon, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, like I said to you, the visitors go to either North Devon or down to Cornwall. They miss this bit, really.
Pam Bowler, landlady of the Bridge Inn at Bridge Rule. So through Tamar Lakes and on to Bradworthy to meet its longest serving grocer.
My name is John Bolston.
So are you a Bradworthy?
Yes, I am.
lad then?
Yes, I am. Been here all my life. Father and grandfather before me.
Always running the local shop?
Yes, since 1845. And I've been here nearly 50 years.
And how much has it changed over the years?
Oh, quite a bit. Quite a bit. Updated at different times, you know. We made it larger on 2 occasions.
So what kind of shop was it when your grandfather had it?
Always a grocer's. Everything had to be weighed when I left school, you know. But it's all pre-packed these days. Much easier.
But my way wasn't easier. It's all uphill from Bradworthy to Meddon, but a lovely local welcome made it worth the climb. And then shortly my first glimpse of the north coast at Welcombe, and the next day some splendid scenery through Hartland, also being enjoyed by some American visitors.
Oh, it's beautiful. We really enjoyed it. It's been just amazing.
We appreciate the good weather. Thank you very much for bringing it to us. It's been lovely, and it's just so stunning here, and the people are so nice, just helpful, and when we look lost, they show us the way.
And we love Devon clotted cream.
We all love that.
Yeah, it's not hard.
So you're all from Texas, are you?
Yes.
It's an incredible spot, really. I can't believe how beautiful it is.
From Texas to Bideford via Clovelly and Westward Ho, and keen Radio Devon listener Duncan.
I think because it's a good, friendly station, accessible to a wide range of the population, rather than a station that specialises in a particular group of people, which of necessity is the remit of most of the commercial stations.
Do you feel a part of the radio station as a listener?
Yes, I do. I've taken part in Radio Devon things over a number of years, but more particularly the last 4 years when I've been a full-time carer. I've got more involved in the Radio Devon community, and that's been great.
Duncan joined me on the Tarka Trail from Bideford to Barnstaple. It runs through Instow, where we were fortunate in bumping into Bruce Woolaway, owner of the Commodore Hotel, who gave a generous donation to the Chestnut Appeal.
I'm very pleased to meet you, because I've had prostate cancer myself, and I've been very lucky, and I've got over it.
What do you think of Radio Devon organising this appeal?
Oh, I think it's marvellous. Very, very good. Because it's about 1 in 4 males are affected with it, you know. And but I can't praise the National Health enough. The hospital in Barnstaple, where I've had treatment, and the staff, and they're so dedicated to it, you know. And but me, you know, I didn't realise I was ill until somebody said, "Well, Bruce, go and see a doctor." And I went up there, and they told me what I got. But they said I would make a complete recovery, and I have done. But it's all due to the fact of the hospital and the technology, how it's moved on.
The end of week 1, and at Croyd a good time to catch up with keen rambler Joan Long, who, as the chairman of the North Devon Ramblers Group, gets out and about whenever she can.
I think it's absolutely wonderful. I think we're just so lucky to live in Devon, whether it's the north coast or the south coast. When I heard you talking the other morning about your walk from Welcome to Clovelly, really challenging, but on a good day, absolutely wonderful.
But I suppose for people who perhaps have heard about my walk, but don't really want to or feel able to go off on their own, rambling would be, or Ramblers Group would be quite a good way to get into walking.
Oh, it's definitely a very good introduction to walking. I mean, recently there's been a lot of stress put on the fact that walking for health is absolutely brilliant, whether it's for the heart, whether it's for mental health. And a good way to do that is to start on one of the shorter walks. I mean, 460 miles is rather a lot for anyone. You know, I admire you, Joe, for setting out and doing that. But most Ramblers groups have got walks that are perhaps for 2 hours up to about 5 hours. Bring a picnic, enjoy the company. So many people as well wouldn't care for walking on their own, perhaps. And, you know, the social side of being a Ramblers member is great as well.
Well, it was certainly very sociable when we reached Woolacombe and were kindly treated to breakfast. Well, I've reached Woolacombe and I've met Bernard, the weather watcher, and his dog Bella. Bernard, just tell me a little bit about your Bella.
Well, she's a large toy poodle, actually, nearly a miniature, because of her diet of hormone-enriched chicken, I think.
Lovely.
And some biscuit.
Now, being a weather watcher, what is it that makes you want to get up every morning and see what the weather's done overnight and sort of tell everybody what's going on?
Well, you can keep an eye and you have a record and you can see what last year's was, the monthly rainfall, and just do comparisons, really. It's just general interest.
And then do you like to hear what it's doing in the rest of the county?
Oh, yes, that's always interesting, yeah, it's very good.
And the weather reports provide vital information for groups like Exmoor Search and Rescue, who cover all the spots I passed through: Ilfracombe, Combe Martin, Lynmouth, inland to the Doon Valley. Team member Mike Long says that on a nice day there's no better place to be.
Well, it's just a lovely area to be. It is still a wilderness environment, although it's not as vast and open in a lot of ways as Dartmoor. It is still a wilderness environment. We thoroughly enjoy it. You can go and walk on the moor. You don't have to walk very far to be 20 minutes into the moor, and you can be away from people as much as you want to, and you can just walk, or you could sit there and look, and you can. It really is a lovely place to be. You're going to enjoy it in the next few days.
And I certainly did. September's a perfect time of year to walk across Exmoor, with the heather and gorse in full colour. The county border follows open country right across the moor and brings you to the peaceful village of Bray Ford, where Fred Borden, who kindly made us tea and cakes, was born and brought up.
Yeah, at Brayford, Brayford School, yeah. Miss Broadley and Miss Sear was the teachers.
And just tell me what you did then. What did you do for work?
Making signposts? Oh, I quite enjoyed it. That was now in the last years of my retirement, before I retired. Well, I started doing signs when I was about 53. I had done them right up to the time I retired.
And what did you used to have to do in those days?
Well, you'd have to cut out the wooden arms to go in the signposts when they was all broken off and one thing and another, and repaint them and re-letter them, and take them out and refix them again. Yeah, very interesting.
And are any of them still out there?
Yes, there is some still out there, yeah. The last one, me and my friend done, chap called Fred Bede. I used to work with him, proper chap, just like a brother, really. And the last one I think we done was the one down for Clovelly. You had to be carved special, and Fred carved the post, and I done the arms in lettering.
It must be nice if you go out and see your handiwork.
Oh, yes, it is, yeah. Trouble is, the aluminium ones that took over.
The aluminium ones aren't quite the same, are they?
Oh, no, they don't. They don't blend in the same, I don't think so. But they're progress, isn't it?
Ah, progress. And my progress was on to North Malton for more tea, this time with the local art group run by Ken Hildrew.
Mainly landscape painting, since we live in this part of the world, and I am a landscape painter anyway.
So there's lots of scenery around here. So
Absolutely.
You take inspiration
Exmoor is got to be one of the most beautiful places on earth, isn't it? As far as I'm concerned, that's what made me live here. I mean, I was born and bred in London, but I've been down here now for 20 years. I just find it absolutely exhilarating. Living where we are, I mean, it's made very easy because the light is marvellous, and it's transient, it changes, and I just find it perfect. I came down here many, many years ago when I worked in television, but I did say to the guys I was with, a director and a lighting cameraman, that I'd like to come down here and live. And fate played a hand, and here I am. And I've lived in North Malton for 10 years now, and I find the village wonderful. There's a lot to do, there's lots of interesting people, and as I say, the art group is really wonderful.
Groups like that are so important to a local community, as is Radio Devon itself, as I found out when I stayed at East Anstey with Joanna Webb from the Radio Advisory Council.
I wanted to be the voice of Exmoor, really, for the people on Exmoor, because it is their lifeblood listening to Radio Devon. We also have the other station, which broadcasts from Somerset, but I just think that Radio Devon is very much what people listen to on Exmoor.
What does the radio mean to people out here in a rural community?
I think it's often their link with the outside world. Some people still do not have a television, especially the elderly who can't afford the licence. And it's no joke. And also some of them don't know how to work a television. They're so complicated these days, where radio's fairly easy to work, fairly easy to tune in, and it remains tuned on that one station, Radio Devon. It never moves, the dial always stays the same. So I just think it's a wonderful link, especially for the elderly people that are infirm, disabled, and for the blind. So many people on Exmoor benefit from it, especially during your foot and mouth coverage. It was wonderful, absolutely first class. We cannot praise it enough.
Reaching the end of week 2 and on to Oakford, and the post office run by Robert McManus and his wife Joyce.
We started off from scratch. We converted the chapel from nothing, a Devon chapel, gradually into the shop.
Oh, that's what it is. It's a converted chapel, is it?
That's it, yeah.
Because it's quite unusual these days. So many shops are closing down for one to have opened up and...
Well, it was 20 years ago, before Safeways and the bigger supermarkets were around. Then you had more people in the village who'd been here a long time. That's changed. People have died and new people have come in.
Yeah.
And more people do a big shop once a week.
But presumably for the people who come in, it's important to have a village shop.
It's a very good centre for publicising things and information and just general socialising. They all say they would miss it a lot if we weren't here.
Oakford, it was time to follow country lanes through Bampton, Exbridge and Holcombe Rogus before crossing the M5 to the peace and quiet of the hamlet of Woodgate, where Bella and I came across John Nolman walking his dog Badger.
Oh, we can go back in the church register to 1609, yes. Somebody's done a family tree for us.
And what would you say is special about this part of the world?
Can't anything better, really. Wonderful. What country life is anyhow, isn't it?
And do you walk up here most days?
I do, because I've got a bit of a heart problem and I've got to walk 2 or 3 miles every day, so this is the place to come. We get a lot of people up on a Sunday, but compared to what it was like in my childhood when the whole village used to walk up here on a Sunday evening, you don't see so many now.
What was it like then, going back to those times?
Oh, a lot of crowds and unused to people. I mean, in those days, I knew every single person in Comstock when I left school. Nowadays, I don't know half a dozen, but I mean, you used to meet everyone you knew and have a chat.
So Comstock Beacon was a bit of a place for sort of promenading, a sort of seafront of
that's right.
This area.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, wonderful.
And then on through the Blackdown Hills, where the scenery too was wonderful, rolling hills and steep-sided valleys, and a patchwork quilt of fields, to reach true border country at Chardstock.
When my grand got married in, I think it was 1861, on a marriage certificate at Chardstock in Dorset.
So where would you say you feel being in Chardstock? Would you say that feels like Devon or Somerset or Dorset then?
Oh no, Devon.
Yeah, because it's been Devon as long as I can remember.
What's it like living here so close to 3 different county borders?
I suppose we didn't really take a lot of notice of it. I think I notice it more now, because if we go out you can say, well, I've been to Devon, I've been to Dorset, I've been to Somerset within a few miles. And that, it's just, people sort of look at you, you don't realise you can do that.
Elizabeth Wallbridge, who came out to meet me en route, as did more listeners when I made my way along the East Devon coast through Seaton, Beer and Branscombe.
On Hughes, yeah.
So you were born in Branscombe?
No, I wasn't born in Branscombe. Jean was born in Branscombe, not me, no.
So where did you come from to?
Exmouth. Yeah.
Not very far away then. I think we can classify you as a local
Well,
lad,
yeah, I
can't
think
we?
so, yeah.
So you fish off the beach?
Off
then?
Branscombe Beach, yeah. Since 1964.
And you take visitors out,
Yes,
do you?
yes, mackerel fishing in the summer, yeah.
I guess people come back year after year.
Oh,
do they?
yes, I've got families have been coming ever since I've been working here, yeah. Taking people out with their children now that they was children when I first took them out.
On a day like this, with the sea as calm as a mill pond, it must be a lovely place to be out there.
Yes, I've just had a swim, actually.
And what was the water like today?
Beautiful, lovely and warm, yes.
So you're Jean
Brimson.
And you were born in
Branscombe,
Branscombe?
yeah. 68 years ago, dare I say it.
So how has Branscombe as a village changed in that time?
Well, I suppose there are not as many locals living here as before. Obviously, we've got an influx of people coming, and second homes and holiday homes, really.
And has it retained its community spirit
Yeah,
over the
it
years?
has, yes. I mean, the new people that have come in have joined in and, really joined in Branscombe things and helped it along, really, yes.
It's a real picture postcard village, isn't it, Branscombe?
Yeah, we're lucky, I suppose, with the national cloning, lots of land, that it's kept as it is, really nice, and not loads of building and things, yeah.
And we're down on the beach at the moment on a weekday in September, but
not many
people
the
around.
Weekend, I think, was absolutely packed because of the weather, yeah, but it's absolutely beautiful here today. The sea's like a mill pond and clear as clear, yeah.
And then to a favourite spot of mine at Weston, and not surprisingly a favourite of the chairman of what's now the World Heritage Site Tourism Group, Doreen Franks.
It's absolutely magnificent. It's been given World Heritage Site status, and to sit here with you today and see the vista all around us, the sea, the cliffs, the peace and quiet, it's no wonder that we've got this status. It's to preserve the area for each and every one of us into posterity. It's not to create a museum, but it's to keep it as we all love it, as it is today. And the weather that we've got is an absolute bonus. It's marvellous.
And just tell me about your farm. How long have your family or your husband's family farmed there?
My family, yes. My family came to Lower Weston Farm in the little hamlet of Weston in the 1850s, and I am now the current generation that's there. We have one son who is very involved in the business, and although our farm goes nearly to the coast path, it doesn't actually, you won't actually be walking through it, unfortunately, and it's just another marvellous place. I feel to have been born sleeping in the bedroom that I was born in nearly 60 years ago. I'm rather proud of that bit. And just to have the chance to have such a wonderful place on my doorstep is absolutely superb. And I feel very honoured that I'm currently the chairman of the World Heritage Site Tourism Group, which is gradually piecing together the nuts and bolts of opening up areas and helping to make the World Heritage Site available to each and every one, whether they be well-abled, disabled, or here as a resident, or coming as a guest.
Well, the World Heritage Site then passes through Sidmouth and Budleigh Salterton to its start at Exmouth, and that's where my journey along the coastline ended temporarily as I headed inland to Exeter, but not before I had the pleasure of meeting many listeners, including Joy Graham, who told me how she met her late husband Adam.
We met through Radio Devon. We were the first people to meet and get married through Radio Devon. We met on the Liverpool Garden Festival on the ferry across the Mersey on the first Radio Devon trip.
And since then he sadly died, and that was from prostate cancer.
Prostate cancer, and that's why it's so important to me. And you're doing such a good job, Joe. And wish you well.
So what do you think of Radio Devon, the importance of Radio Devon actually having this appeal for prostate cancer?
I think it's the most wonderful thing, and I wish we could get all the men, because there are so many things going for women and things, and I just wish we could just get the men involved. They just will not go to their doctor. And you're doing such a good job to promote all this, and see how we go. Wish you well.
One of the things I've noticed is a lot of people talking about it now because of the appeal. Have you found that?
Absolutely right. Yes, it's come to the fore. That's the most important thing of all. I think, people are now more aware of it, whereas sort of like breast cancer years ago, people didn't talk about it, and because it's such an issue, they're now, coming to really doing something about it.
My route took me into the Radio Devon studios in Exeter, and then followed the canal out to Powderham, the estate of Lord Devon. What does it mean to you to be Earl of a county like Devon?
Well, it's obviously a very historic title, and I'm very proud of it. There's very few earls who actually live in the county. In fact, I don't think there's any other one who actually lives in the county he gets his title from, which is rather strange.
So what would you say about Devon itself as a county?
Well, I'm sure we all do. It's a wonderful county to live in, and obviously there's a great many people who think that, and a lot of new people coming into the county. No, I've no wish to live anywhere else. I think it's such a lovely, varied county, and wonderful scenery, and lovely people, and what more else?
From Powderham it's a short step to Star Cross, where it was time for tea with primary school governor Adrian Light.
It's a typical village primary school. We have, roughly speaking, 200 pupils and a teaching staff of 8, including the head teacher.
What sort of things do they get up to here?
All manner of things. Apart from the normal curriculum activities, anything to do with involvement in the community. When they have the School Harvest Festival, for example, they take goods around to some of the disadvantaged people in the community. They help fundraise when we have special need requirements. We've raised money to build our own village swimming pool in the school grounds. You name it, and they get involved in it.
So the school is very much a part of the community here?
An extremely focal point, yes. Very much. It's, apart from being geographically almost in the exact centre of the village, it is really very much a village centre of activity.
From the village of Starcross, it was on through some of the most populated towns en route: Dawlish, Teignmouth, Torbay and Paignton. Passing on through Elbury Cove, a haven of peace and quiet, says Brenda Eyre.
You moved from the Midlands a couple of years ago now.
That's right, junction 2 of the M5. Highly built up, plenty of traffic and lots of industry, not so heavy now, but we've just come to a wonderfully idyllic spot. We have the joys of the Devon countryside, wonderful coastline, and like I think most people who want to move down here, we asked for 3-bedroom bungalow with sea view, and we've been so lucky we've got it. And we're now working at it, and we've been made so welcome and feel at home.
Because you're in sight here of Elbury Cove, where we've just been walking.
Oh yes, this is a magical spot. Stony Beach, Pebbly Beach, and within a few hundred yards of the sandy beach at Broadsands. So wonderful for grandchildren. Walking through woods, adventures on beaches, looking through driftwood in the winter. Everything that, given time with children, they can really enjoy growing up.
So no going back to the Midlands then?
Only to visit. Yes, we're... Devon is our home now, and as we say to everybody else, Wooden Box will be the one that will take us out of here.
So on to Brixham, then what turned out to be one of the toughest sections of all, from Berryhead to Kingswear. Then the final week of the journey, setting off from Dartmouth, and the first stop of the day, Stoke Fleming, the home of Gladys Blackler and her family.
Slapden, yes.
And how long have your family lived in this area?
Well, in Slapden area, my grandfather came there and he was 16. Yes.
And what's the little story you were just telling me about the horses down at Slapden?
Oh, yes. Well, my dad, when he was a young man, he used to come down with several other young farmers with their calves. And they used to let the horses go in the sea, paddle, and then they'd say we're off, we'll race each other right up to across, and they used to race right up to Kingsbridge, through Stoke, all the way to Kingsbridge.
What they used to get up to in those days,
yeah,
gosh.
Yes, I did, I know. I've been told that. Yes, yes. It's a lovely area here anyway. I wouldn't wish to move away really. You know, got all the coast some way. Yeah, as you'll see when you walk on the Kingsbridge, it's lovely. The view is all the way now. When you get here, you'll be able to see Start Lighthouse, and then you get around through Stokenham, then you're out looking down the estuary towards Salcombe. You know, it's really nice.
And indeed it is. And the people are nice as well. Kathleen and Edward Lethbridge from Stokenham celebrated their diamond wedding with a collection for the Chestnut Appeal. Now both in their 80s, they've known each other all their lives.
Yes, ever since she was 15. She was only 20 when we married.
Was he your first boyfriend?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
one and only.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So what was your 60th wedding anniversary like?
Oh, very good, very good. We had a party with our own families.
Yeah.
Wife haven't got no brothers and sisters, but I got 3 brothers and I got 2 sisters, and we had all got together, and we had a collection for the Chestnut Appeal. Collected £260. Yeah, just a few of us, yeah.
That's lovely.
Instead of having gifts, you know, we said we'd like the money for Chestnut Appeal.
That's
Yeah,
lovely.
old Dora collected and she posted it off to Derriford Hospital.
And you're recovering from prostate cancer?
Well, I'm recovering. I have my injection for years to come yet. They say you have it right up to the die, I expect. I should be still having it. Yeah.
And what's your first name?
Edward.
Well, thank you both very much indeed.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
come on.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Nice to have met you.
From Tor Cross, the coastline heads south through Bee Sands and Hall Sands to the Wild to Start Point, and then Devon's most southerly tip, Poole Point, where Derek Yeoman, on duty for the National Coastwatch Institution, surely has one of the best offices in the county.
I do every Monday afternoon, a 4-hour watch, 1 till 5, and the team actually do 9 till 9 in the summer and 9 to 5 in the winter, which is 4-hour shifts, 9 to 1, 1 to 5, 5 to 9.
So what's it like being down here? It's the most southerly point in Devon, and as people have said, it is a fantastic view.
Brilliant. I mean, look at it. I mean, you come out here, even if it's blowing a hooligan, it's still an attractive place to be. And there's always something happening on the sea, whether there's a boat passing, and then the waves will get up. We've got 2 or 3 guys who are bird watchers, because this is one of the first landfalls for migrating birds, either in or out. And again, it's well known for the Cerro Bunting all around here, which the breeding pairs went down to about 40. I think they're in the country, and they're up to about 400 now.
And indeed I saw some fantastic bird life a little later on. 7 kestrels in one group on section from Bigbury-on-Sea to Noss Mayo. But that's jumping ahead, because before then was Salcombe and the spectacular stretch of National Trust coastline from Bolt's Head to Bolt's Tail and down into Hope Cove, the home of former Auxiliary Coast Guard Dennis Pedrick and his wife Anne.
In 1953 I came down camping with the Rangers, and Dennis happened to work on the farm that we camped, and things went from there, which is quite nice. So I've been here now, we've been married 46 years.
And this feels like home, does it?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Never ever wanted to go back to Cambridge.
So Dennis, you've lived here all your life. How much has Hope Cove changed?
Oh, inner Hope, not a lot. There's been a few more houses built on the outer Hope side. But saying I'm married and 46 years, I only had her on 4 months trial. But this is how we've ended up. But, it's a lovely part of the country and lovely scenery and that, so can't wish for anything better, really.
So as Auxiliary Coast Guard, you must know this stretch of coastline like the back of your hand almost.
Very well, yes. We used to cover from Burr Island to Soquham, yeah. And then where you went on the other side of the estuary, yeah.
So what sort of things have you been out to over the years?
Oh, all sorts, you know. People, we used to get a lot of cliff rescues, but we don't seem to get so many of those now. It's more boat jobs, you know. My eldest son is in charge of the auxiliary in Hope Cove now, and they're out 2 or 3 times a week to boats being in difficulty and windsurfers, you know.
What's the biggest thing you ever had to go out to?
Oh, ship ashores. There was 2 ship ashores, one at Thorlestone. I don't know, really, every's different, you know. Cliff rescues used to be the main thing, really.
So you've been down over the cliffs a few times?
Oh, many times, yes. Yeah, many times. Yeah, you met Derek Yeoman out at Broad Point?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we went down and we brought up 3 girls in bikinis at Bantham. And I had a lot of rumory about that, you know, one at a time bringing them up in bikinis.
Yeah.
But it was great fun, yeah. I always enjoyed every minute of it. Called out in the middle of the night, you know, and had to go work the next day, but carry on the same, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's been lovely meeting you, Joe.
And you.
Well, all the best to you, my dear.
On from Hope Cove, it was a scenic diversion along the Avon estuary to Aberton Gifford, or is it Alton Gifford? I never did find out, as the locals couldn't agree. Then more river mouths, the Erm to be waded at low tide, the Yelm I followed from North Mayo to Yampton and through Brixton back to Newton Ferrers, then on to Wembury, near the home of a great Devon charity walker and champion of the South West Coast Path, its association secretary Eric Wallace, who revealed his favourite section is actually across the border in Cornwall.
Oh, you're putting me on a spot now, really. I'm a Devonshire man, born and bred, Torbay, and I have to tell you this, Joe, that my favourite section of all the 630 miles is West Penwith in Cornwall. But the second favourite, and it's running it a close second, is the South Hams.
Second favourite out of the South Hams, my headed to Jennycliff and Mountbatten, around the Plym via Turnchapel and Arreston, and then the industrial estate of Catwater down to the Barbican and up onto Plymouth Hoe. 460 miles completed. Well, not quite. Still the last section back to the BBC Radio Devon studios at Seymour Road on the sunny Saturday morning of our open day.
The weather has been beautifully kind to her. She goes under the arch with all her BBC Radio Devon colleagues. Bella's a bit bemused, and she arrives at the finish to all the clatter and all the noise. And well done, Joe. She's actually through the finish line there. Let's just have a quick word with Joe if we can. Joe, heartiest congratulations.
Thank you, John.
Now, how did that feel? That was a bit of a surprise, wasn't
it?
It
was a bit of a surprise, yes. It was lovely, though. Lovely reception. Thank you very much.
I was just saying to Matt, it's probably appropriate that the last day is the easiest day?
Oh, well, it was certainly the shortest day, just 2 miles up from the Hoe this morning, and it's a lovely morning again.
We've heard daily about the record of your journey. I just wonder if inside you there's something that's sort of added to not only the physical side, but was there just something in the enjoyment of the area, being on your own with Bella or whatever, that just, wow, that is wonderful, a wonderful feeling?
The fresh air and being out every day has just been fantastic, and also meeting all people on the way round. I never expected so many people to come out, and I was just amazed and delighted by the reception that we had in small hamlets on the way through, and to the larger towns as well. It's just been lovely. And, you know, even people in their gardens coming out knowing I was going to pass their garden, just waiting for me. It's just been amazing. It's really lovely.
And that is the finish, except to say one final very big thank you to everyone who supported the walk and helped raise £15,500 towards the Chestnut Appeal. I enjoyed walking and making this programme. I hope you enjoyed listening and meeting as well some of the lovely people of Devon who go to make up this marvellous county that it's a privilege to call home.
In 1953 I came down camping with the Rangers, and Dennis happened to work on the farm that we camped, and things went from there, which was quite nice.
Oh, beautiful. We really enjoyed it. It's been just amazing.
We appreciate the good weather. Thank you very much for bringing it to us.
Yeah, Brayford, Brayford School. Yeah, Miss Broadley, Miss here was the teacher.
My family came to Lower Weston Farm in the little hamlet of Weston in the 1850s. I feel to have been born sleeping in the bedroom that I was born in nearly 60 years ago. I'm rather proud of that bit.
I'm Jo Bishop, and you've been listening to interviews recorded on my 460-mile walk around Devon with my dog Bella in aid of the BBC Radio Devon Chestnut Appeal for prostate cancer. Thank you to all those who took part, and to Vic Morgan for studio production. The music you've been listening to is from the Show of Hands CD, The Path, and also the Acoustic Cafe at Morwellham Quay, the first of many memorable stops en route.
Make me sound, make me a pilot, sound soft and move, make me a pilot on the floor. Thank you very much.